All right, this is going to be information on the partial solar eclipse that is taking place 24th or the 25th. It's going to be depending on what countries you are in. So here we have a north node, and that's something. And the north node is in Taurus right now, which means that we're looking at where that north node placement is in our chart. So a regular chart when you're born is going to start with 1, 2, 3. But as you progress in life, it's going to turn into a progressive chart and a transit. How can you look at it? Well, if you have Leo in, if your sun is in the 10th house right now, do I want to say it that way? No, I'm going to go for my position. Okay, so if you have Pluto in your 10th house, which is going to be your first house as a Capricorn, then what's going to happen is that you're going to be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses over, which is going to be the natal second house, where the north node is for Capricorns, and it's going to be focusing on you progressing your finances, your possessions, your value, your home, your land, agricultural. Some people may be into farming. You could be into farming and sowing seeds, but it could go deeper. It could be a mystical farming. It could be like where you're sowing seeds into souls. And so that's going to be how it goes. So if your sun is in the 9th house with Sagittarius, and that would be Sagittarius's first house. Sagittarians would count over from the ninth house to find out where this solar eclipse is going to hit for the 8th. Six houses. So it will start at the 9th house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that means that it would be dealing with your finances, but you'll also have to look at your health around now and the 8th. So when we look at, let's say Aquarius, we're going to count over to the 8th house where the solar eclipse for the 24th, 25th in Scorpio is happening. And that's going to be 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would be the 10th house. And what's going to happen is it's going to be cutting off challenges or the way that Aquarians think about sex, death, joint finances, taxes, which is it encompasses psychology of life, the economy of life, the spirituality concerning life, and the biology of life. And all of this would target how you think and maybe what needs to change about your thinking. The 8th house is a subconscious house. That means that it's deep thought. Sometimes people will think something that is what they need to take on as a truth, and they will put it back into their subconscious and say, no, I don't want to think that, because they don't want to accept that there is a reality into what they're thinking. They might be afraid of accepting it. And so the South Node is saying, no, we're challenging that. We have to let it go. It's like going to the South, and the South said that's where slavery was, right? Because slavery has to do with this eighth house issue. Slavery is not just about color. Slavery is about how you see work. Do you realize that you may not like work and your profession, and you are a slave to what you do because you don't like it? You might consider looking at what you love to do, and that will break a subconscious level of your economic deprivation, by the way, because you think you have to do it for money. That's 8th house energy. It's also a level of slavery. 1776 is a view of this south node in Scorpio because of the independence that was brought, but it was a level of independence that did not succeed for the people. So here, 1776, the Declaration of Independence and United States is having a birthday, switching out of Aquarius, but also keeping everyone that is a collective energy, all of us in the world, in the loop of what's happening, because America has a birthday this year. It had a birthday July the 4th, and it was a solar return. And so the solar return has brought forth some unpleasant ideas and understanding. And what's happening is that some people are panicking. And the North Node is saying, focus on your progress and where you can go from here. It's not about how the people tell you to do it, but it's how your spirit tells you to do it. You see, the North Node says, follow the path and your intuition will show you the way, right? And then the funny thing about it is, here's the sun. We're ending the Libra season, but we have an eclipse with Scorpio. So Libra is also connected to Venus, which is our North Node. And our North Node is again saying, move into the future. So what is the future for you? And yes, I brought up examples of Sagittarians and Capricorns and Aquarius. But the reason why is because now you're looking at, what is my purpose in life? And if I take away your identity of, say, like working, you've been working for what, and you've not gained what you want. If I take away your identity, then what will you have? You will have the North Node saying, create a new identity, create the way that you want to go. Is this a release to say that everyone should stop working? No, that's not what I'm saying. I said to the Aquarians, if you work for money and you're not happy, that's a level of slavery. People look at colors and the fact that 17 or 1620, identified with slavery, with African Americans coming over on the ship. But there was other slaves. Europeans would bring over the Caucasians that were paupers. Am I trying to make this outside of race? In a sense, yeah. I think that each culture should educate their people on who they are so that they can have an identity in America. Yes, Black Americans, they lack their own identity. That's why I do teach on other levels outside of drawing tarot cards. I've said before, I draw tarot cards because it encourages people. Outside of here, I do a lot of work in philosophy, philanthropists, helping those out in the communities. It's not just me, it's others that work behind the scenes with me. And we continue to look at what's going to help our people to grow collectively. What's going to help them to understand truly what's going on in the religious sector, in the political sectors, which is a part of Scorpio's energy, because it was political leaders that signed the Declaration of Independence. That's why you have taxes to pay, because of political leaders. They're saying that you pay taxes because it helps the states and the roads, the education system. But then when we look at it, we're saying, okay, that's why Scorpio is clipping off some ideas that don't work, right? I mean, it's deep, but it's the truth, because people believe in other people. I say people believe in other people that they've never met before, and that's hard. Because if they don't deliver, then you get mad and you switch to another party. What are you getting mad for when you have power over your own life? And the power that you have over your life has to do with this North Node in Taurus, because it's about your personal finances, because Venus is a personal planet. The other thing is that it's personal for you, because now, for those that don't know, you're educating yourself on how you're going to make it through what seems to be an inflation. And they are also saying that there's no food. How could there not be any food in America with all of the land that we have? And there are seeds too, unless they take those off the market. Here's the sun shining on all of it. I'm giving you information. The eclipse is working in and through me right now by giving you information. It's not information that I only know, but it's also others. The other thing is, if you have a religious foundation, you let that religious foundation and you turn into your spiritual alchemy and your transformation, where you know that God is your source. This is your eclipse reading. So here's a third card, because there's nothing that you lack. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You can go on and look more. God said that I am the one that gives you the power to obtain wealth. The tarot comes from the tarot. I talked about that in the decolonization of mental health. People wouldn't be mentally ill if they were working on the things that they are called to work on. They wouldn't be mentally ill, many of them, if they were not socially and economically oppressed. This is all Scorpio South Node. Here's your third card. When the eclipse comes, people are confused because they still have to go to work for somebody, and they're scared to stand up for themselves. Slavery, not color, but in the mindset, your consciousness has to become free. This is your third card. It says Pisces. And guess what? Pisces is all about self-undoing. You could go back and listen to the Pisces information that I have. The Pisces moon in September was about self-undoing. People were very uncomfortable. They're going to continue to be uncomfortable until they look at the 12th house of Pisces is about karma. What is karma? It's good or bad. It's what you bring on yourself. It's self-undoing. It's secrets, moon energy. It's also hidden enemies. But what is the most tucked away enemy in a person's life? Their own self. Self-sabotaging. Never having the ability to make a decision that you're confident in. So as a collective, we become confident by working on ourselves, assisting others. Because even as I spoke for Aquarius, if this is your 8th house, in some instances, you're working with groups. Capricorns are working with groups, definitely in this season. But they're cutting away groups that do not understand the concept of unity. What is unity going to get us? The ability to speak truly. We the people for the people. A lot of people are going before Congress and all of these different political leaders. They're asking for things. No one is coming out and looking in the streets of all of America, seeing how many people in America are homeless. In other countries, they find this as a place of benefit, and it really is. All of this is 8th house energy, because when you look at the subconscious mind, everything that's under the ocean that's not seen is what needs to be brought up in order for people to be free. When you bring all of that information, the understanding up, and even the anger, the bitterness, not to retaliate and go out and fight, people become free. There's no more frustration. They get some peace there. You need peace when it comes to your economic living. You need peace when it comes to your body. Talking about insurance with sickness, and older people cannot pay for this and they cannot pay for that because no one's looking out for them really concerning their medications. The doctors are not taking care of them. I'm there. I understand. The other thing is spiritually being led far amiss, and not understanding that you really wanted to go to church so you could learn the truth, but you got church leaders that are not teaching the truth because all they want is your money. All of this is 8th house energy. Joint finances, what you came together with someone, with a partner, in a marriage, partnerships. How's that working for you? Truly, this is not sarcastic. The other thing is psychology, the psychological impact of being conditioned and then deconditioned at the subconscious level, the work that you need to do and I need to do. That's all 8th house. So anyone that feels confused, don't worry, just sit with yourself and begin to plant seeds within yourself, saying that there is a way out of no way, saying that I am well able to possess the land, because land is in the 8th house, land that was taken away from forefathers and generations. Yes, it's hidden information there. And as you do that, you begin to pray, you meditate on what you really want, your connection with God. What's going to happen is you begin to see a turnaround. And the North Node will begin to work for you because you'll be doing things differently, seeing things differently, speaking differently, thinking about what you need for your family and the generations to come to make a difference. Not that they're going to stay the same, but that you're going to allow your generations to stay in a place where I don't know where I'm going to eat or what I'm going to eat. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying how you change that is you think in the future. You can't think on what you see right now. Like this bottle of water, it's going to be finished. So I'm going to put it down. It won't be existing anymore. That means anger and begrudging others. It has to go. That's Scorpio energy. You're stinging people, learn about your attitude. Is it pleasant? Is it going to get you the blessing? It has to go. And so, undoing self, let the sun shine on you. Let words of encouragement and blessings come into your life. Sun. Let the sun shine on your harvest. And let Pisces energy undo what's kept you bound. All right? And you guys be blessed. Get in on that turkey drawing, ifwbuilders@gmail.com. We're doing it in the cities in the states of America. If I can find a way to send a few to other countries, I will, because I do have connections in Africa and in India. My thing is to know that I'm going to connect with people that are honest and true, and that we can make a difference outside of these issues that we have going on with the 8th house. So happy solar eclipse. Call on Venus. Wear red. You know, pray yes to Jesus, but understand that Jesus went and took us beyond the veil in Hebrews 10. And beyond the veil, the mysteries begin to open up. That is, if you are faithful and true to the word and to the consciousness and the leadership of the people, because the people need leaders that are going to lead them out of a lack mentality. Scorpio, emerging as a phoenix into the light of agriculture, North Node, Venus blessings, love, light, and healing. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.